Okay, so stand by. We've got 6 people already online, have we? All right. We need to lower that screen so that it captures the people and not the top of the roof. Okay, I've adjusted it down now. Back a bit to get more of the picture. Okay, I'm going. All right, now I've moved it back a bit. Yep, so Joe's there. But the only one you won't see is Kevin on that end. Yep. And you're going to be there. Okay, yep. Yep. So that's pretty good there. But I may move it back just a marginal. And we'll see how we go.
Because you'll have to raise it over there for a passion.
It's on no, it's off on the Wi-Fi at the moment. Okay. Oh, hang the signal. Okay. All right. No worries. All right. Okay. Good. Yeah. Okay, that sounds good. All right, that'll do. That'll do for that thing, and I'll get the other one. All right. No worries. Thank you for that. Okay. Bye. All right, that one's ready to go. That's streaming live now. So the YouTube is already on. And this one, need to switch it to the other camera. Put it on this so it's easy. Otherwise, it's very hard to attach it. Starting video now. Just wait. It won't let me do. All right, doesn't matter. Go that way. Go on.
Welcome to the parishioners of St Brigids, Gisborne and St Ambrose, Woodend, and other online viewers to this Good Friday service. Our parish is joined together for this service today, which comprises 3 parts: Liturgy of the Word, Veneration of the Cross, and Communion. The service commences with Father Vin lying face down in silence in commemoration of the Lord's Passion.
Let us pray. Remember your mercies, O Lord, and with your eternal protection sanctify your servants, for whom Christ your Son, by the shedding of his blood, established the Paschal mystery, who lives and reigns with you in the unity of the Holy Spirit, one God, forever and ever.
Amen.
A reading from the prophet Isaiah. The theme, he surrendered himself to death while bearing the faults of many. See, my servant will prosper. He shall be lifted up, exalted, rise to great heights. As the crowds were appalled on seeing him, so disfigured did he look, that he seemed no longer him. So will the crowds be astonished at him, and kings stand speechless before him. For they shall see something never told, and witness something never heard before. Who could believe that what we have heard, and to whom has the power of the Lord been revealed? Like a sapling he grew in front of us, like a root in arid ground. Without beauty, without majesty, we saw him. No looks to attract our eyes, a thing despised and rejected by men. A man of sorrows and familiar with suffering, a man to make people screen their faces. He was despised, and we took no account of him. And yet ours were the sufferings he bore, ours the sorrows he carried. But we thought of him as someone punished, struck by God and brought low. Yet he was pierced through for our faults, crushed for our sins. On him lies a punishment that brings us peace, and through his wounds we are healed. We had all gone astray like sheep, each dumb before its shearers, never opening his mouth. By force and by law he was taken. Would anyone plead his cause? Yes, he was torn away from the land of the living, for our faults struck down in death. They gave him a grave with the wicked, a tomb with the rich, though he had done no wrong, and there had been no perjury in his mouth. The Lord has been pleased to crush him with suffering. He offers his life and atonement. He shall see his heirs. He shall have a long life, and through him what the Lord wishes will be done. His soul's anguish over, he shall see the light and be content. By his sufferings shall my servant justify me, taking their faults on himself. Hence I will grant whole hoards for his tribute. He shall divide the spoil with the mighty, for surrendering himself to death, and letting himself be taken for a sinner, while he was bearing the faults of many, and praying all the time. This is the word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
He learned obedience and became the source of eternal salvation for all who obey him. Reading from the letter to the Hebrews. Since in Jesus, the Son of God, we have the supreme high priest who has gone through to the highest heaven, we must never let go of the faith that we have professed. For it is not as if we had a high priest who was incapable of feeling our weaknesses with us, but we have one who has been tempted in every way that we are, though he is without sin. Let us be confident then, in approaching the throne of grace, that we shall have mercy from him and find grace when we are in need of help. During his life on earth, he offered up prayer and entreaty, aloud and in silent tears, to the one who had the power to save him out of death, and he submitted so humbly that his prayer was heard. Although he was Son, he learned to obey through suffering, but having been made perfect, he became for all who obey him the source of eternal salvation. The Lord.
Thanks.
Gospel proclamation.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ, King of endless glory. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ, King of endless glory.
Christ became obedient for us, even to death, dying on the cross. Therefore God raised him on high and gave him a name above all other names.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ, King of endless glory. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ, King of endless glory.
The Passion of our Lord Jesus Christ according to St. John.
Jesus left with his disciples and crossed the Kedron Valley. There was a garden there, and he went into it with his disciples. Judas the traitor knew the place well, since Jesus had often met his disciples there. And he brought the cohort to this place, together with a detachment of guards sent by the chief priests and the Pharisees. all with lanterns, torches, and weapons. Knowing everything that was going to happen to him, Jesus then came forward and said,
Who are you looking for?
They answered.
Jesus, the Nazarene.
He said,
I am he.
Now Judas the traitor was standing among them. When Jesus said, I am he, they moved back and fell to the ground. He asked them a second time.
Who are you looking for?
They said.
Jesus, the Nazarene.
Jesus replied,
I have told you that I am he. If I am the one you are looking for, let these others go.
This was to fulfill the words he had spoken. Not one of those you gave me have I lost. Simon Peter, who carried a sword, drew it and wounded the high priest's servant, cutting off his right ear. The servant's name was Malchus. Jesus said to Peter,
Put your sword back in its cupboard. Am I not to drink the cup that the Father has given me?
The cohort and its captain and the Jewish guards seized Jesus and bound him. They took him first to Annas, because Annas was the father-in-law of Caiaphas, who was high priest that year. It was Caiaphas who had suggested to the Jews, it is better for one man to die for the people. Simon Peter with another disciple followed Jesus. This disciple, who was known to the high priest, went with Jesus to the high priest's palace. But Peter stayed outside the door. So the other disciple, the one who known to the high priest, went out, spoke to the woman who was keeping the door, and brought Peter in. The maid on duty at the door said to Peter,
Aren't you another of that man's disciples?
He answered,
I am not.
Now it was cold, and the servants and guards had lit a charcoal fire, and were standing there warming themselves. So Peter stood there too, warming himself with the others. The high priest questioned Jesus about his disciples and his teaching. Jesus answered,
I have spoken only for all the world to hear. I have always taught in the synagogue and in the temple, where all the Jews meet together. I have said nothing in secret. But why ask me? Ask my hearers what I taught. They know what I said.
At these words, one of the guards standing by gave Jesus a slap in the face, saying,
Is that the way you answer the high priest?
Jesus replied,
If there is something wrong in what I said, point it out. But if there is no offense in it, why did you strike me?
Then Annas sent him, still bound, to Caiaphas, the high priest. As Simon Peter stood there warming himself, someone said to him,
Aren't you another of his disciples?
He denied it, saying,
I am not.
One of the high priest's servants, a relation of the man whose ear Peter had cut off, said,
Didn't I see you in the garden with him?
Again Peter denied it, and at once a cock crew. They then led Jesus from the house of Caiaphas to the praetorium. It was now morning. They did not go into the praetorium themselves, or they would be defiled and unable to eat the Passover. So Pilate came outside to them and said,
What charge do you bring against this man?
They replied,
If he were not a criminal, we should not be handing him over to you.
Pilate said.
Take him yourselves and try him by your own law.
The Jews answered.
We are not allowed to put a man to death.
This was to fulfill the words Jesus had spoken, indicating the way he was going to die. So Pilate went back into the praetorium and called Jesus to him and asked,
Are you the king of the Jews?
Jesus replied,
Do you ask of this your own accord, or have others spoken to you about me?
Pilate answered,
Am I a Jew? It is your own people and chief priests who have handed you over to me. What have you done?
Jesus replied,
Mine is not a kingdom of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, my men would have fought to prevent my being surrendered to the Jews. But my kingdom is not of this.
Pilate said.
To let you see that I find.
Jesus then came out wearing the crown of thorns and the purple robe. Pilate said,
Here is the man.
When they saw him, the chief priests and the guards shouted.
Crucify him! Crucify him!
Pilate said,
Take him yourselves and crucify him. I can find no case against him.
The Jews replied,
We have a law, and according to the law, he ought to die, because he has claimed to be the Son of God.
When Pilate heard them say this, his fears increased. Re-entering the praetorium, he said to Jesus,
Where do you come from?
But Jesus made no answer. Pilate then said to him,
Are you refusing to speak to me? Surely you know I have the power to release you, and I have power to crucify you.
Jesus replied,
You would have no power over me if it had not been given you from above. That's why the one who handed me over to you has the greater guilt.
From that moment, Pilate was anxious to set him free. But the Jews shouted,
If you set him free, you are no friend of Caesar's. Anyone who makes himself king is defying Caesar.
Hearing these words, Pilate had Jesus brought out and seated himself on the chair of judgment at a place called the Pavement, in Hebrew, Gabbatha. It was Passover preparation day, about the 6th hour. Pilate said to the Jews,
Here is your king.
They said,
Take him away, crucify him.
Pilate said,
Do you want me to crucify your king?
The chief priests answered.
We have no king except Caesar.
So in the end, Pilate handed him over to them to be crucified. They then took charge of Jesus, and carrying his own cross, he went out of the city to the place of the skull, or as it was called in Hebrew, Golgotha, where they crucified him with two others, one on either side, with Jesus in the middle. Pilate wrote out a notice and had it fixed to the cross. It ran, Jesus the Nazarene, King of the Jews. This notice was read by many of the Jews, because the place where Jesus was crucified was not far from the city, and the writing was in Hebrew, Latin, and Greek. So the chief priest said to Pilate,
You should not write King of the Jews, but this man said, I am King of the Jews.
Pilate answered.
What I have written, I have written.
When the soldiers had finished crucifying Jesus, they took his clothing and divided it into 4 shares, one for each soldier. His undergarment was seamless, woven in one place from neck to head. So they said to one another,
Instead of tearing it, let's throw dice to decide who is to have it.
In this way the words of Scripture were fulfilled. They shared out my clothing among them. They cast lots for my clothes. This is exactly what the soldiers did. Near the cross of Jesus stood his mother and his mother's sister, Mary, the wife of Clopas, and Mary of Magdala. Seeing his mother and the disciple he loved standing near her, Jesus said to his mother,
Woman, this is your son.
Then to the disciple he said,
This is your mother.
and from that moment the disciple made a place for her in his home. After this, Jesus knew that everything had now been completed. And to fulfill the Scripture perfectly, he said,
I'm thirsty.
A jar full of vinegar stood there. So putting a sponge soaked in vinegar on a hyssop stick, they held it up to his mouth. After Jesus had taken the vinegar, he said,
It is accomplished.
Bowing his head, he gave up his spirit. It was preparation day, and to prevent the bodies remaining on the cross during the Sabbath, since that Sabbath was a day of special solemnity, the Jews asked Pilate to have the legs broken and the bodies taken away. Consequently, the soldiers came and broke the legs of the first man who had been crucified with him, and them of the other. When they came to Jesus, they found that he was already dead, and so instead of breaking his legs, one of the soldiers pierced his side with a lance, and immediately there came out blood and water. This is the evidence of one who saw it, trustworthy evidence, and he knows he speaks the truth. And he gives it so that you may believe as well, because all this happened to fulfill the words of Scripture. Not one bone of his will be broken. And again in another place, Scripture says, they will look on the one whom they have pierced. After this, Joseph of Arimathea, who was a disciple of Jesus, though a secret one because he was afraid of the Jews, asked Pilate to let him remove the body of Jesus. Pilate gave permission, so they came and took it away. Nicodemus came as well, the same one who had first come to Jesus at night time, and he brought a mixture of myrrh and aloes, weighing about 100 pounds. They took the body of Jesus and wrapped it with the spices in linen cloths, following the Jewish burial custom. At the place where he had been crucified there was a garden, and in the garden a new tomb in one had yet been buried. Since it was the Jewish day of preparation and the tomb was near at hand, they laid Jesus there.
Well, dear friends, in Jesus Christ, today we are commemorating the Passion of the Lord Jesus Christ. That's why we call it as Good Friday. And death is a fearful one for everybody in this world. Everyone is afraid of death. We all know our birth. And in the same way, if you know your date of death, that would be really messing around us, really disturbing our mind. In this present situation, there are diseases which cause us to death, which leads us to death, like cancer. And today, coronavirus is threatening the whole world. People are dying in the world. The image of Jesus. And what happens then? He had a last supper with his disciples. And then he went to pray in the Garden of Gisborne. He wanted to communicate with his. And the villain in that movie say, I prefer you to die, Bond. And that's why this communication in Garden of Gisborne, what Jesus made was praying to his Father, saying, Father, if it is your will, take this cup away from me. The same way, if it is your will, I am very happy to accept this suffering. Again, I wanted to say, what is this grievous and terrible death? People, those who were praising him, they were turned against him. And now they are all shouting against him. The disciples, those who were with him, and from his place. And in front of the court, or in front of the court of the chief priest, everybody was criticizing him. And they were hitting him in his face, or slapping him in his face, and spat on him.